Hi everyone, Mon here. Welcome to the channel. This channel is called Intuitive Soul Savant, and I am a real person. I am not AI. Welcome everybody. Welcome to our little video today. We're going to be looking at the Sun conjunct Uranus in Gemini. Now, this will be happening for the Northern Hemisphere on Friday next week. And for Sydney time, this will be happening very early in the morning on Saturday morning. In fact, 26 minutes after midnight, the sun will be exactly conjuncting Uranus in Gemini. Now, this is the first. We have 7 more sun conjunct Uranus in Gemini. And I'm actually going to give you the degrees of these next 7, just so you can look into the future, into your chart, and see if those degrees coincide with any of the planets in Gemini, or for that matter, Sagittarius, Pisces, or Virgo, because that would be a challenging Sun conjunct Uranus in Gemini. So I'll give those at the end of the video. Pop into the description box. I do consultations. Just flick me an email and we work that out. It's face-to-face and it's great value for money. Okay, very good value for money. It's very different to what other astrologers offer because it's very personable. Okay, it's not just a standard, this is what I do. I look into what my client is needing to learn at this time. Okay, and of course we have the divine backing us up all the way with that. All right, and everybody's a very satisfied customer. So if you'd like to sit opposite me for a consultation, I actually teach astrology as I'm going so that you understand where I'm getting my information from your chart. So it's also a mini astrology lesson as well. Okay, I have another channel that's in the description box and it's called Soul Savant. Very small channel regarding enlightenment and ascension. And it's a very small channel because not everybody's there yet. But if you're on that path and you'd like to look ahead at where your soul is ascending to and how it happens in the human body, yeah, please, welcome. You're welcome to have a look. There's no astrology or occult sciences on that channel. It's just the experiences of being a finder, and I class myself as a finder. All right, well, let's move along, shall we? So the Sun conjunct Uranus the 22nd or 23rd of May, pending whether you're on the Northern Hemisphere or the Southern Hemisphere. And it will be at 1 degrees 31 minutes of Gemini. 1 degrees 31 minutes of Gemini. Now we know that Mercury has already conjunct Uranus, and when this conjunction happens with the Sun and Uranus, Mercury is 10 degrees away. So it's not really in orb for this transit. We do have a couple of other transits that the Sun conjunct Uranus are in orb for. Neptune in Aries, we know Neptune in Aries is at 5 degrees 52 minutes. So the Sun and Uranus is in a sextile, a wide sextile, 4 degrees sextile. Also trining retrograde Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto is at 5 degrees 27 minutes. So we've still got Neptune sextiling Pluto. This Sun conjunct Uranus will sextile Neptune, trine retrograde Pluto, and it will also square the nodes. So to me, this is sort of a sticky point, okay? The nodes are moving backwards as they do. They retrograde backwards, so they are at 4 degrees 42 minutes. So we've got like a 3-degree orb where the sun will be squaring the nodes. Uranus, yes, now it's squaring the nodes. There will be an exact square from Uranus to the nodes. North node in Pisces, South node in Virgo. And we've been talking about these nodes for a while now, and we know North node in Pisces, you know, sextiling Pluto, it's about the collective and us as individuals and our spiritual higher elevation as human beings. And with the South Node in Virgo, we are releasing the dogmatic perfectionism of Virgo. You know, that's where Virgo gets stuck, is in the perfectionism, and that can become rigidity, all right? But opposing Neptune, there's no rigidity with Pisces, all right? No rigidity. Neptune ruling Pisces is the ethereal, the spiritual, what we can't see or touch, but our consciousness is well aware that there is a higher form of not matter, energy. All right, so that's sort of what's going on while this sun conjuncts Uranus. But the sextile to Neptune, trine to Pluto, that's great energy, great energy. But let's get to the sun and let's get to Uranus. Now, wherever the sun goes, this is how we need to look at the sun. We all call our own individual signs our sun signs, because that was where the sun was when we were born. Now, if you think about it, I pray to the sun every morning while I'm meditating, actually. I say a little prayer. I ask the sun to illuminate my heart and warm my heart so my heart can do the work the sun does. All right, so you think about it. The sun is the power on this planet. The sun is our warmth on this planet. The sun illuminates everything on this planet. If there was no sun, we wouldn't be here. So you can see now, the early civilizations, they honored the sun god. The sun was their god because they realized and appreciated the fact that the sun gave them warmth and also food, because we need the sun to grow our food, right? So the sun is bigger than anything in my eyes, okay, other than the divine, which is consciousness altogether as one. So the sun is a very important luminary, we call it. We don't call it a planet. So wherever the sun goes around our solar system, we go around the sun, I should say. Wherever it is shining, it is illuminating, giving light to, giving warmth to. Imagine being on stage and having that spotlight on one character on stage. But the sun is bigger and better than a spotlight. The sun lights up everything on Earth, along with its mate, the moon, that lights up the night sky when the sun is shining on the other hemisphere. Okay, so wherever the sun's going, it is lighting up, charging up, giving energy to, giving warmth to, accentuating whatever it is shining on. Okay, so then we look at Uranus. So we know the sun is going to be shining on Uranus, but Uranus is visiting Gemini for 7 years and making its home in Gemini for 7 years. All right, so the traits and of Uranus with the sun lighting up these traits is what we're looking for. And also the flavor, Gemini. Okay, so Uranus, one of the first key words is Uranus is an awakener. All right, and the form that awakening can take can sometimes come by the hand of chaos, all right? Awakens stagnant energy that needs to move forward, right? Because we know that everything changes. Nothing stays dormant. Everything changes, right? We understand that from our science, right? We are evolving as a spiral, moving. So Uranus is there as an energy for us humans and the planet to change things. Otherwise, where would we be? What would we be? As much as humans don't like change because they very much like to stick to a comfort zone, better the devil we know. We have our fixed signs that will hold on, white knuckling it, even if the change is good for them. They don't really like to change until push comes to shove, and they are made to change, all right, energetically. So, this also, Uranus is a energy of rebellion. And when we are rebellious, we are wanting to change what doesn't suit us. Whatever situation we're in, if we're not liking it, we rebel. So Uranus is an energy of rebellion, collective chaos, right? Because Uranus rules Aquarius, Aquarius it rules the collective. Uranus is trining Pluto in Aquarius, the collective at the moment. So collective chaos. Now, if you look out on the news, which I don't, but I know it's going on because, I just know it's going on. People tell me things. We have collective chaos at the moment, okay? It is collective chaos. And, for us to undergo this collective chaos, we've been advised to be the best individuals of the collective that we can possibly be. So these are all energies that the sun is going to be lighting up when it conjuncts Uranus in Gemini. So sudden changes on the menu, surprises, unexpected events. That's how Uranus works, like a flash of lightning into the pot, and whoa, wow. And with the sun there, right, we've even got a brighter spotlight on the change, the surprise, the unexpected event. And I know as a human being, nobody likes to hear that because we like our comfort zones. The sun, high energy. I've explained that before. It lights up the world. It warms up the world. And with the sun as part of the system that grows our food to feed us, all right? So, lots of high energy. When Uranus brings a surprise, it's lightning bolt. That's fast, high energy, okay? And it can be volatile energy, right? If we allow the energy to embody us, we could create volatility in our relationships, in our communication, Gemini, right? So we've got to be really careful of this, that we don't use our words lightning bolt, because, words can damage. We know that. Uranus also in Gemini is the energy of nervous tension. Uranus in Gemini will activate our nervous systems, right? And that can be a negative thing, because anxiety, if we have an overactive nervous system, this can bring on anxiety. This can bring on adrenaline rushes. This can bring on recklessness, impulsiveness, right? Acting without thinking, Gemini, okay? Gemini rules the mind, communication and thinking. With Uranus, it's unconventional thinking. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury, which rules Gemini. We have Mercury in Gemini, 10, 11 degrees ahead of Uranus. So, unconventional thinking can be the flavor of the day. On a positive note, conscious independence. Uranus very much values independence, right? And ruling the collective, as I keep coming back to, our individuality is what we have the power to work on to raise the frequency for the collective on planet, for the changes that we would like to see. Peace, serenity, contentment, abundance for all. We can also have on this day when the Sun conjuncts Uranus, shifts in our thinking, our perspective, the way that we're looking at things, epiphanies. This is what I love about Uranus in Gemini, is those lightning bolt epiphanies. As an intuitive, I get them all the time, and it gives you a bit of a thrill because you know that you haven't logically sat there and worked out that thought. It has flashed in your mind intuitively and come as a epiphany, right? So that's a lovely thing that the Sun conjuncting Uranus in Gemini can bring us, which allows us, we can break free from limitations, our stagnant routines. The Sun could shine a light on what needs to change in our lives as far as routines go, as far as our thinking goes, the limitations that we're dealing with, that we don't necessarily have to deal with. We just need a different perspective to be able to change things up a little bit for us. All right. Breakthroughs, creative breakthroughs, intellectual breakthroughs, and this may come from the collective. We could have a new way, new technologies, or a new industry even that will benefit the collective, new sources of power that would benefit the collective could come through to somebody's mind as an epiphany to help the rest of us. Okay, because this is how life works. Everything that we have right here and now, somebody thought about it and somebody acted on that thought and created it, and here we are. And, that's why astrological commentators talk about new technologies, because Uranus rules technology. And also, being in Gemini, that's our social media that everybody's so addicted to. So there could be changes in social media. All right. Now, with Uranus being in Gemini, my number one, I don't like the word warning, but that'll do, is really, in this next 7 years, this is the time to start meditating, because, overthinking, overstimulation of the mind can be an issue for many people, especially, as I mentioned, with the scrolling on social media, okay? And nobody likes those rolling thoughts that just won't stop. I don't have them anymore, but I've been meditating and I do it every day, okay? My mind does not give me trouble, and I know what it's like, 60 years of me wanting to shut down that mind so badly, because it's the thoughts that tell the BS. They're not the truth, the thoughts, right? Those thoughts are from conditioning. And, these days we have the time and the energy on planet to master our mind. And I've talked a lot about that on this channel, mastering the mind. Yeah. So, you may find that you very much cannot focus this next weekend because of overthinking. The mind overstimulated, which it will be with Uranus transiting Gemini. However, with the Sun shining its big, beautiful energy on this 1 degrees 31 minutes in your chart, more so if you've got planets at those degrees or they are, you know, the points, okay, in your chart. Authenticity, you know, is a big theme. Think of the sun. The sun rules Leo. Leo likes to shine its self. And we all have an authentic self. We're all different. Absolutely amazing miracle. Everyone on this planet, how many millions are there of us, right? We're all different. Each one is in a space on planet looking at the world from that space's perspective. Now, unless you went through life piggybacking somebody or having someone on your shoulders, no one's going to have your perspective. And even then they'd have a higher perspective because they'd be higher. Do you know what I mean? If you can look at it as sacred geometry, where you stand on this planet, only you are standing there and only you are having that perspective from that point you're standing on. Wow, hey? So you are a beautiful individual. You are valued for your authenticity. It's a great point. It's a great point. So we may need to be flexible this next weekend, okay, because anything can happen. Anything can happen with the sun and its big, beautiful power shining on Uranus in Gemini. So, you know, watch being, you know, you could be very overwhelmed with what's going on in your life. So that takes self-care. Always self-care, self-care, self-care. If you find that you've got those rolling thoughts, sit down, listen to a guided meditation if you cannot just sit and focus on your breath, right? So watch the overwhelm, watch the scattered thinking. You may be motivated to get about town. Gemini is a get about. That's what I call it. It's a get about town, communicating, dropping off ideas here to that little group like a butterfly, landing on each flower. Okay, that can be the Gemini energy. So, you know, you've watched this video, pre-warned, forewarned is pre-warned is forearmed. That's the saying. So, you know, be gentle with yourself. Be aware that this energy is on planet and it probably will manifest through the people around you, even yourself. Calm yourself. Watch the coffee. Always watch the coffee because that elevates the nervous system. Okay, and heart palpitations, feeling, what do I get? I feel restless. I get restlessness when Uranus really hits my chart, and I want to make something happen, you know, but I've actually had to learn to not react to that impulsive energy, that restlessness, that energy of, oh, I'm sick of all these things, boring old life I lead, that sort of attitude. You know, I'm going to shake it up. And Uranus then actually acts through you to cause chaos, okay? And we've got to be careful of that because we don't want to shake our lives up too much unless we are consciously changing things, okay? So overwhelm, scattered thinking, if you've got a project that you really need to focus on, next weekend probably wouldn't be the time to do it. If you are going to be relying on your thoughts and focus, mental discipline, all of that sort of thing, this isn't the time to do that next weekend, okay? Just a hint there. All right, I think that's all the words I sort of can throw at you about this energy. And I'm not this, you know, they refer Uranus energy to the Tower card. Well, the Tower card in tarot doesn't necessarily have to be bad news, okay? So, you know, there could be good news that could change your whole life. One letter, Gemini, one email, one knock at the door with some information, one phone call, and your whole life could change. So it doesn't necessarily mean bad change. It just means sudden change, okay? So be soothed by those words, all right? So now I'm just going to give you the next 7 times that the sun is going to conjunct Uranus, all right? Now, Uranus is moving forward. It's not retrograde yet, okay? So it is a direct Uranus that the sun will be conjuncting. But next year, 2027, on the 24th of April, Uranus will be retrograde when the sun conjuncts Uranus in Gemini, and that'll be at 3 degrees, 3.5 degrees, okay? 3.5 degrees. In 2028, it'll be the 28th of April, and it'll be direct. So the only retrograde Uranus is next year, 2027. The only one out of 8 of them, right? And the rest are all Uranus direct. So just keep a note of these degrees and whether they're actually conjuncting any of your natal planets. So 2027, it will be at 3.5 degrees. 2028, it will be at 8 degrees. Did I say 3? Yeah, 3.5 degrees, and then 8 degrees. 2029, it'll be at 12.5 degrees. 2030, it will be at 16 degrees, nearly 17 degrees. Okay. 2031, wow, it will be at 21 degrees. 2032, it will be at 25.5 degrees. 2033, I really like that one. It will be at 29 degrees, 51 minutes. So it's nearly finished, okay? On the 23rd of May, 2033, so just after that last conjunction at 29 degrees, it then moves into Uranus then moves into Cancer, and it doesn't come back to Gemini, okay? It will not retrograde back. It will full steam into Cancer. And I hope we all own homes by that date. I really, really do, all right? Uranus in Cancer. We'll wait and see, okay? So lots of changes right through. Lots of changes in Gemini, okay, with Uranus. But let's be positive. If we have our hand to any of these changes, let's not freak out. Let's stop and think about what we're doing and not just be willy-nilly chaos. No, okay, because Uranus can cause chaos. There's no doubt about it. Uranus, knows, its energy knows that change is needed, but it doesn't know what to do. It just knows, right, I'm going to throw chaos in there, which will change, but I haven't got an answer as to what the best thing to do is, right? So be aware of that. Uranus just knows, oh God, it's all stagnant here. I need to change things up. It doesn't have an answer at what will better the situation. So be aware of that. And that's where we're all at the moment. With everything on planet, everybody sees that we need change, but nobody's really come up with a good enough answer yet. That's because we've got the powers that want to be trying to anchor down that old smelly energy, right? Okay. All right, everybody. I love you. And yeah, we're moving on. I'm moving along with these videos, aren't I? So maybe it's a thing now. All right, I love you. Love my subscribers. Please like the video, drop a comment in. The algorithms are very hard, so please help me out with that. Much appreciated. Love you all, and bye.